Deepak, among scientists and philosophers who take consciousness seriously, there's different views. Many of them now say that consciousness is another fundamental part of the universe. This is very, very controversial, but that just makes consciousness the equivalent of other physical forces. I think you would feel that consciousness is more important than that. So do you feel that consciousness is ultimate reality and everything else is derivative from consciousness?
The short answer is yes. Consciousness, defined as awareness, is ultimate reality, is T with a capital, it's truth with a capital T. Now, scientists again, they give labels to their experiences, okay? Electromagnetism, gravity, strong and weak interactions. Some of them are perceptual experiences. Gravity is a perceptual experience. I feel heavy, okay? It holds me here on this chair so I don't fly. It holds the planets together. But it's actually an experience, okay? Which I can quantify in equations and all that. Electromagnetism is a word to describe certain behaviors, which we can then quantify them as charges, spin, this, that, and the other. Strong and weak interactions, who's seen them? I mean, they're conceptual models to explain behaviors. Mm-hmm. So everything that we call the four forces of nature, which we're trying to now, bring them together in equations, which are all mental mathematical activities in consciousness, they are words we have created, and now we hold these words to represent fundamental truth. But all they are is perceptual and conceptual experiences in consciousness, symbolic representations of experience, whether it's perceptual or conceptual. There's no reality to any of that. Okay, that's what science does. It creates a language, it creates a description of a conceptual or perceptual experience. It says this is what reality is. Reality is none of that. Reality, those are just labels we have given to, as I said, describe, there are certain physicists, including Hans-Peter Dürr, ask him, what's a particle? He says, there's no such thing. It's a hap. What's a hap? It's a space-time event in consciousness. It's a happening in consciousness. Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen a particle? I mean, you see on these, these ghosts, trails of what could have been particles and hadron colliders and so on. You give them names, and then you end up actually giving them names that describe patterns of behavior. Friendly, charm, charge, positive,
those are whimsical.
Yeah, but that's the only way we can describe them, because they are actually happenings in our consciousness. There's nothing outside of consciousness.
But that's pure speculation, because those events are repeatable events. They are the kinds of things that people from different cultures, different walks of life, different experiences of all different kinds can agree upon. What you're saying, you feel, I may feel part of it, but I don't feel exactly the same. Other people may not feel it at all. You can't communicate that in a way that everybody agrees. But when we deal with the physical gravity, you say gravity, we have an equation. We will all agree that equation, Newton's equation, is approximately right, good for us. And you get more complicated, you got to get Einstein's relativity of that. But we all agree on that. Everybody, no matter what's their background.
Systems of thought that we agree in. But you go to a religious ideology.
And on consciousness, everybody disagrees.
Okay, wait, because nobody's experienced it directly. Okay, that's why they disagree. They think of it as perception, cognition, all the things that are not consciousness. Okay, that's why they disagree. Consciousness is not a system of thought. It is what gives rise to all systems of thought.
Okay, that's fair.
So when you understand that, then you say, yes, we can agree, we can make it work, we can predict things. Does that mean it's the truth? It's partial truth. Okay? Now, I was going to say something very important here. You cannot have truth unless you transcend thought.
That sounds mystical, and
It's the mysticism is the only real science.
I didn't say mysticism as a compliment.
It is the only science. And it has a protocol. Just like all science, everything has a protocol. Science has a protocol, right? Let's design this. First, we have a theory. Then we design an experiment. We make measurements, observations. You do the same thing. You say it's all valid. Yes, it's valid because we are all following the same protocol.
Okay.
Okay? For those who are in a religious ideology, they follow the same protocol.
But they get all different answers.
Not if they're in the same religious ideology.
But there it's so constricted, and that's the difference between science and religion and consciousness. And in science, everybody, doesn't matter what ideology you're in, they will come to the same
As
conclusion.
long as you use the same language.
Well, they're using the language of
An
observation,
invented language,
experimented,
but an invented
repeatability,
language,
different people
I can
repeating it.
guarantee you that if you regularly transcend, which is the protocol, through self-reflection, self-awareness, questioning your perceptual reality and transcendence. I'll repeat that. Self-awareness, but self-awareness includes awareness of your body, awareness of your breath, awareness of what's happening inside your body, and I can teach people to be aware of their heart activity, everything that's happening inside. That's a form of yoga. So self-awareness of physical reality, which is in the self-awareness through the 5 sense organs, self-awareness of mental space, self-awareness of the observer, self-awareness, one category. Second category, in the same scientific methodology, self-questioning. Who am I? Does my life have any meaning? Do I have a soul? What is the meaning of death? Does God exist? What is the nature of space-time? Because I can neither experience space or time perceptually. I ask physicists, describe to me the curvature of space-time which gives rise to gravity, which creates mass, which you all buy into. I do too, when I use your language. I can't imagine space or time. I can't experience it perceptually. Never forget its curvature, which gives rise to an experience called gravity, which then mysteriously creates mass. And we all buy into this. We have bought into a scientific myth.
So how then is consciousness the ultimate reality, and how then does consciousness...
Follow the protocol. Self-realization is through self-awareness, self-reflection, transcendence, and questioning perceptual reality.
So if one does that and one feels confident in consciousness, how then does consciousness create everything else?
Consciousness experiences itself as forms of consciousness. Color is a qualia, or a form of consciousness within consciousness. Sound is a form of consciousness within consciousness. There's no sound in the world. It's all vibrational molecules. In fact, there is no world. The world is a qualia gestalt, okay? And it's all forms of consciousness within consciousness that exist. Everything else is a perceptual illusion, including your own body. Doesn't exist.